Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some Team Regicide gameplay. The score in the background is at 21-2. It's on the map Complex. This is the first Team Regicide gameplay that's been posted to my channel, and it is also the first skirmish gameplay that has been posted to my channel. Regicide, I've gone over my thoughts on it before. I pretty much have nothing but hatred for Regicide. It is essentially just casualizing the playlist. It's just like saying, hey, do you want a casual playlist to play? If you're not very good, and if you don't go top of the team often, because we reward players who don't go top of the team, and we punish players who do go top of the team. And not only is it doing that, it's punishing players who get score per minute. Like, you know, one of the things I like to do and pride myself upon is that I play aggressively and that I'm able to get a fairly consistent high score per minute. And you shouldn't be punished for wanting to do that. You shouldn't be punished for running around the map, getting the highest points, and then you instantly have a giant notifier above your head and everyone's like, oh, okay, let's go kill Modest Major because he's running around. And, you know, I already play aggressively. I already play like an idiot. I don't want to be punished and forced into playing more defensively because the game's out to kill me. That's just not my scene. Anyway, I have a topic I want to talk about. I have a fairly controversial opinion on the matter, and I hope you guys stick with me. I could be wrong, and I'm willing to listen to a compelling enough argument that convinces me otherwise, but right now I have my own set opinion on the matter, and that is regarding the topic of sprint in Halo 4. Now, a lot of players seem to have problems with sprint. I personally think there are 3 problems with sprint, and I don't think they're as big as people like to make out. The first of which is that when you are sprinting around corners and sprinting around the map, you have to stop for a second to be able to get your reticule back on screen, and it takes a good like 2 seconds, maybe 1.5 seconds, and you shouldn't be punished for running around the map aggressively as long as you know what you're doing and have good enough aim. Let's say, for example, you run around a corner and someone is hiding in a corner behind you. Even if you see each other at the exact same time, the person who was playing defensively is being rewarded in that circumstance because he was, you know, sitting in a corner, not moving around, not sprinting, and just happened to spot you first. I don't really like that. Not much. And secondly, I think a way to improve sprint, and a way that it should be improved, is that it's not omnidirectional. And what I mean by that is that sprint, you know, if you could sprint from side to side and have the faster movement speed from side to side, then you could be able to improve your strafe, which would therefore not only reward marksmanship more, but reward good movement more. And I just think it's something that would massively improve the state of the game. The third one is that people, and this isn't really a complaint I have, because I kind of have a counter-argument to this, but that is that 343 are developing, you know, bigger maps in order to, you know, account for the fact that there is sprint. And people don't really like the bigger maps, they like the close quarters arena maps in general, at least the competitive community do, anyway. But I kind of disagree with it, and I think people are making mountains out molehills for the most part with most of those arguments. And if I'm being honest, sprint in general, let's look back to games like Unreal Tournament and Quake. You know, people didn't complain about movement speed back in those days. They loved it, because the movement speed meant that you were able to strafe more, you were a harder target to hit. So the player's accuracies had to be better. If your map knowledge was better, you were more rewarded for it, because escape routes were easier to take. I saw one player on the forums complaining about, oh, well, you're able to escape easier. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. That rewards map movement. That means if you go in a different direction, and it also rewards players who are really good at tracking down, because let's say someone runs around a corner, he's able to get to a different part of the map quicker, so the guy chasing him has to make a judgment call. They have to go, well, where would I go in that situation? And therefore it's, you know, rewarding intuition and stuff like that. And I think that's a pretty cool feature. You know, it's not like you don't have the ability for this movement section either. The person chasing has this high movement as well. So it's not like the person running away suddenly has their own access to sprint. I think that was one of the problems with Reach, is that it was an armor ability, so some players didn't get it, some players did get it. Whereas in this, they made it available to everyone. Me, personally, if I was to change sprint, I would just have it as a higher movement speed in general. I wouldn't have it as... And I think it's something that could really add to the game and give it more longevity, because I think movement speed in general, I mean, the competitive community have the loudest voices on the forums, yet they seem to be so anti-sprint and so anti the idea of a faster movement. I don't understand why. I think it would make Halo feel more like an arena shooter on a map like Haven. Let's look back to the fact that when they increased the movement speed from 100% to 110%, the game felt way more fresh and way more enjoyable. Does anyone disagree with me on that matter? Because me personally, I loved it when they added to the 110%. I thought it was a lot more enjoyable. I felt a lot more I mean, at first I did worse because I just wasn't used to that speed in Halo, but as a result, I just felt the skill gap increasing more as I practiced with that new movement speed over time, especially with the battle rifle coming back into play. I just see sprint as something that needs to be improved, but isn't a 100% negative, feature that some people like to make it out to be. Some people, I just that think can't adjust to the fact that it's a higher movement speed, and they're used to their old Halo 3 and Halo 2s. The thing that annoys me about the community right now, especially the forums community, is that the loudest voices on the Halo forums and the internet in general are the people who used to play Halo 3 and, love Halo 3 and think it's a better game than Halo 4. Those people aren't going to come back and give Halo 4 a chance no matter what, because they think it's garbage, they've given up on the game ages ago, and yet they sit there bringing the community back by complaining, whining about features that they want, and holding back the game from progressing in the nature that it needs to, and making it as good a game as possible. They just want Halo 3 reskin, and it annoys me. I have been Modest Major, hope you guys enjoyed the commentary, peace out.